All right, so this is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's directed by Emma Tammy. I believe that's the same director from the first movie. I didn't like that first movie. I thought it was trash. I guess maybe it worked for some fans or something, but I thought it was just a straight up bad movie. I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it later on. I believe it was on Amazon Prime. And I was like, wow, this is bad. It's to the point where I did a bad movie review on it afterward. I was like, no, I need to talk about this. A fucking mess. It's not scary at all. The best thing going for it is that it does have the animatronics from the game. It looks like the game. That's about it mainly. And I thought that the story was kind of interesting towards the beginning. And I thought Josh Hutcherson was good. He gave a good performance, but that's the majority of what works. I mean, it's such a mess. I hated the ending too with the reveal with Matthew Lillard. I didn't like that. So in this, we're focusing on this other Freddy's location. I believe they said it was the first one. There's a marionette animatronic there that I believe was special for that location. That marionette can control the other animatronics whenever they perform and things. So this little girl ends up dying there, and so that ends up leading into some things in present day. So the marionette ends up actually being the villain of this movie, takes out some people and things like that, and really wants to use Abby, the sister from the first movie, played again by Piper Rubio, to get out with the other animatronics in that Freddy's. I don't like this movie. I think it was bad. I actually think it's probably a little bit worse than the first one. But yeah, it's a bad movie again, just like I assumed it would be. But there's some good stuff here. I think it's shot okay. Just like the first movie, I thought this Freddy's looks good. It's got like a river and things like that. It's a nice looking place. It's a place that you would think some kids would want to come to. That works. Set design and things. The animatronics still look good, just like the first movie. I think okay, you brought that to life really well. I really like the way the marionette animatronic looks. Clearly, there was a lot of effort put into that, effects wise and things like that. When it comes to the things that the marionette can do, I was like, wow, that looks good, and that is kind of creepy. Like that does work. Vanessa, played by Elizabeth Lail, she's in this movie again. I largely think that her involvement in this is pretty unnecessary. It feels like it's padding out the runtime, but well, she has this whole thing where she's trying to get past the trauma of her father, the hold that he had on her for all those years. And even though I think that's a forced storyline, I do like the way that they did it, where she has to pretty much like banish him in her mind. And so she's seeing him and talking to him and things like that. I thought that was creatively done, even if it was a bit goofy with some of the stuff that they had William Afton, the father, Matthew Lillard, saying. Some of that stuff was taking me out of it, but for the most part, I thought that was creative. This movie feels like it's just it's just thrown out there like, oh, the first one made money and was successful. We gotta put out a second one, right? So what are we gonna do? I don't know. We'll come up with something. I mean, right from the beginning, I'm not into the movie when it comes to dealing with the aftermath of the first movie. So just like at the end of that first movie, in this movie, there's no establishment of why they're not struggling financially anymore. Like that was a big thing. The reason why he took the job as a security guard and then at Freddy's in the first place is because he was struggling financially, wanted to keep his sister, his aunt wanted his sister, wanted custody, and so he was trying to keep that from happening. But whatever. By the end of the first movie, it's like everything's cool. It's like, well, what's he doing for work? Same thing here. Everything seems cool. I guess the financial worries are done. Also, the aunt who was attacked by one of the animatronics in the first movie, I believe she was dead, but turns out she was alive, and she told people that what happened, and instead of people being like, "Oh shit," or not believing her, just not believing her, they instead embraced what she said, and now they have a whole festival for, like Freddy. So it's like Freddy themed and everything, and that was so forced. That was just so that they could have the animatronics eventually get out and be walking around amongst the people, and hey, nobody's really all that shocked by it or scared by it or anything because people are already dressed up like those animatronics, so they just think it's somebody in a suit. All right. Very forced with Abby. The whole thing with her wanting to be with the animatronics, right? Like it didn't make sense at the end of the first movie, right? It's like, okay, they tried to kill you. They tried to stuff you into a suit and kill you. There's no trauma, no fear involved with that. You just wanna be back with your friends. At the end of the first movie, it's like, okay, she's still young, really young. So I guess maybe you could it's still dumb, but it's like maybe you could go along with it. This movie, she's clearly older, right? Right. I don't know how much time it's been. She's clearly older. She's I mean, Josh Hutcherson, he's not all that tall. He's kind of short, but seeing them walk next to each other, it's like, wow, she's really getting up there in height. Like she's gaining on him. And somehow she still acts like that young girl that she did in the first one, even though clearly time has passed, she's older, and they even talk to her the same way, like she's still that young. But she's in robotics class dealing with this shitty teacher. She's able to stay home alone now instead of him having to struggle, Mike having to struggle to get a sitter. It's like, okay, this is throwing me off now. And it's like the only reason why you still have her so focused on being with these animatronics, even though it doesn't make sense, is so that you can have this plot of the marionette manipulating her so that they can get out and cause chaos. And the whole thing being like, okay, I watched the first movie. I know those animatronics. They got out. They were out of Freddy's in that first movie. So why are you putting such an emphasis on that in this movie? It kind of feels like you're retconning because these animatronics, like they have like some kind of lock on them, a proximity lock to where they can't leave that Freddy's that location, and so that's why they need to use her to get rid of that lock so they can get out. It's like, well, they were getting out. They got out in the first movie. It's like this feels forced, just so you can have a plot in this movie. Other than the marionettes, which I think is good, probably the best part of this movie, where that does look unsettling and there are some jump scares that actually worked on me. Other than that, it's still not scary. It's still really not scary. It's PG-13, and you can tell, right? A lot of cutaways. There's the ghost hunter characters that go in, and so they're there. But there's a little bit more to it, but they're mostly there to get killed because the main characters they're largely going to be okay. There's no stakes really for them. They're going to be all right. So you have that, and one of the animatronics picks up somebody by the head and crushes their head. You see a little bit of it crushing, but not really, and then it cuts away, and you see on the floor the person's glasses and some blood. It's like, okay, it's not scary. It's because it doesn't want to get gory at all. The ending to this is terrible. All right, we're confronting the marionette, but not really because we want to do a bad third movie, a most likely bad third movie. So we're mostly setting up sequels with that. The animatronics, the things going on with them is like, okay, that was lame. And then there's also a reveal with a character that was in the movie earlier on. That felt really forced and bad. It's almost like they were like, "Well, we want to do another reveal like we did in the first movie, but worse." It almost felt like something that the Scream movies would do as a joke. It was just like so forced and lame. Man, like Mike, Josh Hutcherson for being like the lead, like he doesn't do anything really in this movie. There's a point where they force him to do something that's reminiscent of the games, just so they can be like, "Hey, this is the games, right, guys?" But that's about it, man. The ending doesn't work. This movie just it's trash. It's forced because it's like, well, we got to do another one. It's gonna be really. They're gonna have some real egg on their face if this doesn't do as well as that first movie, and they're not able to do a sequel to this, they have to reboot or whatever because man, they really were trying to be like, "Hey, sequel" at the end of this. That's embarrassing, but whatever. Potentially embarrassing because who knows? Anyway, that's enough. This is bad. First one is bad. This is bad. The next movie will probably be bad too. Anyway, yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Trash. Subscribe and we're done.